All right, good practice day, good physicality. I thought there was some good competition. You know, Marcus Harper said it at the very end of practice, like we got to start a little bit faster in practice, so we finished with great competition. We got to start that way. It was a low red day, so we're playing close to the end zone. Got even some goal line there at the end. It was good to see some guys compete. Got to keep building off of it.
When you're overhauling the O-line, just how important is Stephen Jones to that process of just a veteran guy who's been in this program, been around Coach Terry before, to have a guy back like that? How important is it to that room, to that transition to that guy?
Yeah, really hard to replace experience, right? And the one thing that Stephen has is experience. He's been a guy that's played, obviously didn't have as much last year, but when you talk about a guy that's played a lot of snaps, has seen it, been around it, he's an old bull, right? You like having an old bull like Stephen on our team.
In your eyes, how was the coach's clinic? What was that experience?
Yeah, great. I think it's a great success. It's a lot of fun for us. I think everybody thinks that these coaches come in and they're learning a ton from us. We learn just as much as these coaches that come in. And we had an elite group. I think it's always fun to have some of our legends involved, some guys that have coached here for a really long time, be able to come and be around our team and around our coaches so they understand what it means to be a Duck.
Last week you said you wanted to find guys who can play football, find consistency on the field. Do you feel like you've seen that the last 2 or 3 practices?
Yeah, it's starting to really show itself, right? Especially when the pads are on, right? There's a big difference between two-hand touch, right, and thud mode or tackle. So I think we're definitely starting to see who can go out there and play ball, who can compete, slowing down some of the thinking process and letting guys play.
So you added to the staff with Jordan, Skylar, and Josh. How did each of them kind of come about? I know Josh is the guy you worked with many years ago. Was he one of those guys in that original list of future guys you wanted to add to the staff? Yeah, Josh is a guy that I've always known. Like you said, we were together at Sam Houston State and knew that he fit a certain role that we were trying to achieve there from a special team standpoint, and has some good experience there. He's a guy that certainly I trust. You know, every one of those guys brings something different to the table that I think is exciting, an opportunity for us to grow as coaches and just grow as a program. Some of the ideas that they carry and share, some of their experience, whether it be NFL, wherever that might be. With Skylar, I was just curious if, I've never even asked you, how much do you keep in touch with Aaron Donald these days, just because he came from the Rams, if that was somebody who gave a reference or something?
No, obviously I have a tremendous amount of respect for Aaron, but I was a GA when Aaron was there as a D lineman, so I'd say our interactions have been small. Certainly a mutual respect, but he's the greatest D lineman to ever play, at least recently. So
there's a lot of new safeties in the room, but Steve Stevens is someone that's been there for a long time. How have you kind of seen him step up and help integrate some of the guys in that room?
Probably the biggest piece is just communication and understanding, like of what we're trying to achieve. As a young player, it's really hard sometimes as you come in to understand the rules and the adjustments, and Steve's able to really be a coach kind of there in the classroom and on the field and walkthroughs in those periods.
Will Saturday be a scrimmage day? You guys going to be announcing?
Yeah, we're going to scrimmage.
What are you hoping to get out of that experience? And
try and get better at football.
On a different note, how often, when you take pictures of the crews, how often do you practice your pose with them, for their commitment? How often do you ever switch
Like, you mean like am I in the mirror practicing before?
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Like, you don't ever practice
So like during the picture.
Okay.
It's my practice.
Have you seen Will and Junior kind of just mesh and creating this new version of the offense this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of carryover of what we've done before. The key for us now is, okay, let's challenge ourselves to be different and use our personnel in the best way. So what we had last year, what's different? How can we utilize our personnel in the best way for us to be successful? No offense or defense should ever look exactly the same when your personnel changes.
When you're talking about your goals for this spring, is it like a practice-to-practice goal? Is it like, all right, this week we want to accomplish this by the end of Saturday? Or is it like we're all working for one goal that would be at the end of spring ball?
Yeah, I think there's some big picture goals, right? And then there's some small goals. I think when you step on the practice field, there has to be a small goal for the day, for you individually, for you on your side of the ball. Hey, whatever we do, we're going to make sure we emphasize 3 throughs on defense and not losing that. Whether QB center exchanges on offense, whatever that might be, try to find that one piece that you're really trying to carry over and create some success with.
Where have you seen Trevor Maya kind of improve his game within the last year or two?
Well, I think the biggest thing is Trev has really done a great job changing his body. He's gotten bigger and stronger to give him a little bit more position versatility. Again, he's moving really well. He's had a phenomenal spring, but it started really in the offseason for Trev and the way he's worked. I've been really proud of his growth.
Bucky was so good for you last year and running back. Just what's kind of his next step of evolution in spring season?
Yeah, don't get comfortable, right? What made him good is how he fought every single day to get carries, how he fought every single day to make this team better, and he's got to continue to do that same thing. And I see that from him. He ran the ball really hard today, had some really solid runs.
Similar question about Troy. He's one of the top returning receivers in the conference in terms of production. Everybody wants to be a 1,000-yard receiver. What does he have to do to put himself in position to do that?
And operate within the framework of the offense, right? At times, that's going to lend itself where you get opportunities to make sure you're able to get him the ball, and there's going to be times where he's probably going to be doubled. We're going to take the ball somewhere else. But understanding what he does, and then we have to do a good job as coaches of moving him around and creating advantageous matchups.
What have you seen from the linebackers so far through 6 practices?
Man, I think we got a really strong group, and it's really comparable from top all the way to bottom. There isn't really a bottom group. There's really level play where I think there's a lot of guys that can play at that position.
When you have to replace one of the top corners in college football, what are the traits that you're looking for from all the guys who compete for? Whether it's Kyrie coming in, or Quez, Dante, that give you the confidence that somebody's going to step in, maybe not to be exactly like Gonzo was, but to be at that level, to be a top cornerback one guy.
Yeah, again, I think you just have to play to the strengths of your players. Not everybody's going to be the same, but ultimately what do you want from a corner? A guy that can cover, that's smart, that understands how to prevent the big play. And then I think the new advent in football is figuring out ways to make sure corners tackle, so we have to be able to do that and get guys on the ground.
Will Stein talked about over the interview process yesterday. What was it about the interview with him that made you think he might be a great fit here?
Yeah, biggest thing I was probably looking for is just that fit, right? Can they come in and be adaptable, understand what our big picture values are, what we want to accomplish offensively, and then do they understand how to use players in unique ways to get them the ball, to maximize your personnel. I think really you look at the advent of how things changed there at UTSA his last year, what he did, what they did the year before, and what he did the next year. I think that's a great indication of having almost a high school coach's mentality of playing to what your players do best.
Where have you seen Ty and Austin maybe improve? Where's the progress been for them this spring?
Yeah, I think each one of them gotten better each day. I think we had some drill work that was a little different today that applied a little bit more pressure to them. We tried to script some scrambles where those guys have to operate, in scramble mode. We put offense and defensive line in front of them in 7-on-7, so there was actual pass rush in 7-on-7 where a lot of people do that on air. So creating that pressure, having to play quarterback in a drill where most people are able to throw on timing, it's like routes on air. But both those guys coming in and attacking every day, another year of experience I think is really beneficial to them. And then Austin's had big strides from day one to where we're at now.
For Ty, was facing pressure and how he handled it, is that something you guys maybe took away from his film last year, and is that a priority? Is that just something in general for young quarterbacks?
I think all quarterbacks got to be able to handle pressure, right? And when you become really good at handling pressure, I think that can be something that becomes a real advantage for you on offense when you understand where pressures are coming from and then how you can influence protections to help yourself out.
There's been a lot of conversation the last couple of weeks in the SEC about possibly playing spring games against opponents with other teams, whether it be at FCS or G5 level or something. Would you be open to that in the future?
I'm not opposed to it. I think why people probably say that is right now in college football more than ever, rosters are really depleted in the spring, right? People don't have enough bodies to actually get through practice and make themselves better. Obviously, there's injury concerns. Last year, I would have been all for that because we didn't have as many bodies. Now we got a lot of guys that need to work, and personally, I want to get the work of our guys in the spring. But if we had a depleted roster, I'd probably be in favor of doing that. Our numbers are a lot closer this year to where we're able to go out there and play.
You talked a lot about your 2-spot practices and how that's been a really big deal for you. How have you seen maybe some of the changes over the spring? Guys getting more reps, getting more practice, pay off so far just in these few practices?
Yeah, experience and development, right? You're going to develop with reps, right? It's hard to get good at football just watching other people play football. You got to go out there and get reps. And we did a little less 2-spot today than we've done our last few practices. That being said, when we're able to do that, we're able to do 2-spot and 4-spot walks. That allows us to get a lot of guys better.
One guys we just haven't seen so far this spring is Damon Davis. Just curious as to his status.
Yeah, he got dinged up, and we're just being conscientious and cautious with him this offseason.
Brought in Trayshawn Holden among guys at receiver in particular. What has he shown? What has he brought to the room, and what are you hoping that he provides in the receiving court?
Yeah, obviously he has some experience. He's big body. I think he has a bigger catch radius. You want to see him as he continues to learn and process what we're trying to do on offense. I think that'll accelerate, and you'll see his play go up another level. But he's had some big body catches inside where he's able to get a little bit bigger in the paint, right, than some other guys.